Come on, you Gunners.
Where's your 3-point stogie?
So we got the 3 points. We have an agreement for a stogie, but because of the nervy ending we had to the game, I got a half stogie. A
Nah,
half stogie to light up.
bro, like, what
It
kind
was a
of
game of
nervy
two
game
halves.
is that?
It was a game of two halves. It was a game of two halves, my bro. It was a game of two halves.
Nah, but I was confident we were still going to score, even when we first went 1 goal down to the 3 points.
3 points stogie.
even when
All
we
right,
went
let's
one
talk.
goal, even when we went 1 goal down, and when we equalized, I was still confident that we were going to score because that keeper was on some demon mode,
Prime Gianluigi Buffon, Prime
bro.
Oliver Kahn. Everybody entered him at that point.
Chilavert from from Bates, Chilavert, prime everybody. Nah, the guy was on. So, but the later he got, I was kind of like nervous. I'm like, is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? And for, I mean, credit to the guys to keep going, and it happened. Luck, call it whatever you can call it. We sure got the 3 points, and it was more than what we deserved because we dominated that game.
We dominated the game, no doubt. So let's look at it from this point of view. A game of two halves. First half, second half.
Mm-hmm.
From the first half point of view, Arsenal had a domineering stance on the game, right? Like, it looked like one of those 6-0 games to be.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the major credits I'll have to give in that particular game will be to 3 players. In my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
Timber was outstanding. Calafiori, outstanding. Martinelli, outstanding. When he got the goal, I'm like, hey, Martinelli, finally.
He has broken the course.
Bro, because just before that moment, he had a chance on goal. And he did the typical thing that he would do because of lack of confidence.
Yes.
But it looks like he's coming back to it. He's making those decisions. When he has to cut back, he's cutting back. Unlike where he's trying to run all the way down the line and put it ball. But it was an outstanding performance.
Absolutely.
Declan Rice too was one outstanding player in the game. But if there was anybody I looked at as not typically himself, is still one person in question.
Who
Thomas.
that?
Uncle Thomas.
But
He didn't have a bad game for the first half. As far as first half is concerned, he had a bad game. But we had so many moments where Martinelli was running in behind those defense. And the typical play you see from someone like
Thomas
Partey is to break the
you
line.
see all those long passes. Yes. So that's something I feel like Arteta needs to work on the boys with, especially our midfielders. We are not seeing those passes from our midfield. In as much as Odegaard is our creative guy, which he drives with the ball, he gives all those, true passes, short passes. The rest of our midfielders are known for their long range passes. And we are not seeing anything from them.
In terms of the long range and switch of play, right? More of it came from Declan Rice, where he was switching over to
even the Calafiori, even our wing backs. So
Calafiori was doing more of that.
Calafiori was changing wing. Where we were seeing all those kind of long range passes, but it wasn't long range passes to progress us or to start an attack or anything. It was just like keeping of possession. So I think we need more long range passes to switch play, start attack. Somebody's running behind the line. You can run all those kind of either a ground pass or even an overhead pass. We need to see more of that from our midfielders, and I think that's what we are yet to see from Partey, which will confirm that he's no longer having that bad patch of form that he's that he ended last season with or something.
And what's your thought on Odegaard's? We are missing Odegaard. Trossard's position in terms of creative play. Has it brought much to the fore in terms of creativity?
So he scored 2 goals today, still,
Yes.
but
Yes.
I still don't see him being the link between the midfield and the attack. I see him more of part of the attack,
Part
like
of the attack.
people that will finish the move for those that are linking up that play.
As
So
far as I'm concerned, in terms of linking up that play today,
he
I think
wasn't there.
he wasn't there.
Yeah.
Rice had to do more of the job in terms of
Yes.
linking up that play.
Yes.
And
Yes.
we lost a little bit on the attack because Kai Havertz still had to fall deeper
Going to
to
the
still pick up
flanks.
and going to the flanks as
Yes.
well.
I saw more of Kai on the flanks than I would rather. Usually, I'll see more of him in the midfield. But now,
Coordinating press with Odegaard,
yes,
typically.
coordinated that press. Like our press will now be a 4-4-2 press, which is Odegaard and Kai. So, but anytime he's dropping into midfield. But now he was like switching with Saka on the right. I saw him a lot on the right, and I was
On
like,
the right.
"What's going on?" But I saw it as a way of accommodating Trossard up front.
Yeah, because he
Because
was actually getting into those center
yes,
forward
he was
positions.
also switching with Martinelli. So there were moments where Martinelli would, cut into or come into the middle, and you will still see Trossard. So it was like Trossard and Martinelli were switching, Kai and Saka were switching on both sides, which
Yeah.
again is not making us have a link from midfield to attack. So that's why our flow is still
The crisis we're in right now that I'm perceiving is the absence of Odegaard has spurred Arteta to want to get very unpredictable as well, because
hmm
now everybody is looking at, okay, what will these guys do?
hmm
Now, the unpredictability is now affecting the balance of our attack.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Even from the right side of things. Like, if you look at the game today, the left-sided part of our game looked
Looked
more
more potent.
coordinated
Yeah.
than the right side. Though
Yeah.
Timber was a flare of magic I was
Yeah.
seeing on the right.
He's he's
Overlap.
running behind the way the way he would overlap and things like that. Now talking about the right side, I wasn't impressed with Saka today.
No, I wasn't. I
He
wasn't.
he didn't look like the typical Saka that made the best decisions in the final third.
He looked like he put on the cap of Gabriel Jesus.
Thank you. He looked like
He looked
he looked
like a
like he's
Brazilian.
playing in the favela, in Brazil, and he's just holding on to the ball too much, dribbling and dribbling. I'm like, Saka, usually you dribble one, two, and you make a decision, either in passing or in cutting in and taking a shot with your left foot. And I did see a lot of that from him.
But I agree. But do you think we could owe that to the absence of Odegaard on the right? Because you know that their triangular play
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
is a major part that is
Yeah.
missing between
Yeah.
White, Odegaard, and Saka. Now we
Mm-hmm.
are having Saka, Timber, and Kai. And Kai is not the one we expect to have the ball at his feet a lot, because anything can happen with the ball at his feet.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
guaranteed that he's going to
Yeah,
let the ball
you
out at the
Kai
right time.
Kai will be annoying as usual with the You're annoying with the ball.
Yeah,
Nah,
but he did put in a good shift in terms of
he
not being wasteful.
that's what he does. But sometimes you see where he's meant to drop the pass. It's just the usual the things that the Kai haters usually like, oh, hammer on and want to emphasize and amplify, right? Those are the things that when you see Kai doing it, you know that this is what it is now, and I wish that they talk with this and things like that. But
Yes.
usually, he will still put in the work. His physical, his positioning, he's always there. But it's now to finish those things that will make him a very, very deadly forward. And
Yes. Now switch over to the second half, because it's a game of two halves.
mhm,
What happened in the second half?
I
Was it the dressing room talk that Ateta did not have
I feel the
that
boys got
Cooper had?
overconfident. I feel they got cocky, and they felt they didn't need to, like, you know, keep their leg on the pedal, right? And
Yeah.
keep going forward. So they felt like, 2-0, we can, contain the game, and we were being sloppy as well. Though the goalkeeper was on some, was making some saves, but I felt like we could make better decisions and we allowed them into the game. Yes, the first goal was pure mistake, but I still feel that defensively we did not set up right. Justin was free for that
Was
header
free, yeah.
before he deflected off Kai. So I still feel like defensively
We cut out of
we
position, yeah.
lost concentration, especially on the set piece. Then the second goal as well, I think it was positioning and miscommunication between Calafiori and either Trossard or Martinelli.
So I would say it's more on Trossard than even Calafiori, because that position Calafiori was in, though the Leicester player James
Was
Justin was
behind him.
behind him, he
Yeah.
was in the left centre back position.
Yes, he
That
caught
Gabriel.
him. Yes.
So he was in his position.
Mhm.
What was now missing was how Martinelli typically would have to track back to support for any free man that might be lurking.
Yeah.
And Trossard didn't get back on time to
Yes.
the man.
Yes.
So that lag,
Exactly.
typically we could have gone away with it. But
Yeah.
it's such an unfortunate situation that it got
Yes.
to that
And that
defender
was a wonderful
that took a
strike, man.
finish that I don't think the only attacker we have that can take that finish is probably maybe a Saka or a Trossard.
So
I
with their
don't
right
think
foot. With their right
Bro.
foot. No, but I don't. Bro,
who finished like that in
Martinelli
the
will
Arsenal?
not take that shot.
No.
Jesus will not take that shot.
Definitely forget Jesus will still touch and try and find somebody.
So who else? Maybe Dex.
Yeah, maybe Declan can
Maybe
take that.
Dex.
But that shot was out of the bag.
It was like Van Persie on the right foot. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It was like Van Persie on the right foot. I was like, nah, the way the ball went, hit the post and entered. I was like, nah.
It was so extreme on Raya's right, and though Raya was outstretched, maybe if he was taller, he would have gotten it, but he was totally cut out.
Nah, that was a wonderful strike.
That second goal was caused by one of these things I'm talking about with Partey.
So you see what I said earlier that Trossard and Martinelli were switching on the left.
Yeah.
Kai and Saka were switching on the right. We were coming from a switch where Trossard and Martinelli had switched. And what you said was that the lack of concentration on who to fall back, who to track back, and support Calafiori when he talks into the left centre back.
Yeah.
That was the miscommunication. That was why I was like, is on either Martinelli or Trossard, because that was what they were doing on the attack. So you should also continue that on the defense.
It is well, but I'm so excited with the fact that our weekend has been salvaged. In fact, the whole week has been salvaged, because imagine we lost 2 points.
Nah.
No, that would have been a hot slap on our faces, because we had so many anticipations of 3 points, we can get goal different from this kind of game.
Let me get your opinion on something. Was Calafiori meant to be sent off? Should he be sent? Was he supposed to be sent off?
On a normal Arsenal day, being officiated by an English ref, that is actually meant to be a sending off.
Yeah, I think so.
Because now I would say we benefited from the inconsistencies that we've seen.
So I think, again, what we talked about going into this game, there will be pressure on officiating of Arsenal's game.
Arsenal, because the eyes are on them right now.
Because eyes are on them. You understand?
Yeah.
So now, if that pressure was not on the officiating, on the referees or on Arsenal's game, that's the second yellow, and he would have been sent off.
Yeah.
But now, if he sends him off, he would have been like, the ref should have warned him, at least once. All these things, that we're talking about, that in terms of like game management or being fair, or don't spoil the game, don't negatively impact the game, and things like
crucial
that.
Time,
like what Howard Webb said about Kovacic not being sent off last season, that Martin Taylor didn't want to have a negative impact on the game. That was what happened in that type of situation, where in another situation, in another game, that's a second yellow card and he would have been sent off.
I held my breath in that moment, though.
I did. I was like,
everybody, even Calafiori was aware that, This was a
yeah,
slip up, and
absolutely.
we could pay for it by going a man down.
Nah. So for me, that was like one of those moments that I felt like, all the brouhaha about, bad officiating of Arsenal's game, all the noise has now had an impact on officiating Arsenal's game. So
Yeah.
what you also spoke about in terms of like not letting us also play into their hands. That's also something we need to improve on, like
Absolutely.
making better decisions and not just being playing
The
into.
first yellow card Calafiori got, uh, I would say it was a careless one.
But it's not
And
yellow card.
from my observation so far, it looks like Calafiori is actually prone to careless fouls,
Mm,
right? Especially when he's trying to track back because he actually advances far forward.
yeah.
He wouldn't want to lose his man, so probably
Mm-hmm.
want to
Mm-hmm.
get
Yeah.
him. But the yellow card Saliba got was an unfortunate one because
Nah, I
that was
didn't agree
just
with
a
that.
bad decision
Yeah.
from the ref. It was just a miskick,
Mm-hmm.
basically, and that shouldn't have been a card.
Yeah.
But we will not take away the fact that there's still going to be major inconsistencies in the decision making of the
Facts.
officiating staff of the PGML.
Mm-hmm.
But we need to give ourselves an advantage by taking the game for what it is. We have
Mm-hmm.
opportunities. We are
Mm-hmm.
dominating the game. Use that time and secure your position. Get your 3 points and get done with it. Right?
You
So
saw
I felt, yeah.
you saw how that Kai's goal.
Mm,
Jesus again was wasteful. He could have passed that ball
yeah.
to Kai or to Saka.
We had so many of those moments. So
Yes.
I will feel unfair if I actually hold on to Jesus because
No. So the reason why I mentioned this is that
yeah,
we're talking about like how wasteful we've been and how we've not been taking our
yes,
chances. And that is
we had
somebody
that
that
a
has
lot.
been consistent with being wasteful. And
Mm-hmm.
he needed to score
Yeah.
for everything Jesus wants to be, every whatever, however he wants to like reclaim his position in the squad, be it up front or right wing. He needs to score, and he still didn't take his chance.
So I was at that point in time when I saw him in that position, when I saw Jesus in that position, to tell you how far low this guy has fallen. I
Mm-hmm.
was bothered that he wasn't going to make the right decision.
Yeah.
When I now saw that he actually hit it on target, I'm like, okay, if we don't get it, at least he tried. He got it on target. It makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
The rebound was perfect. But he was not the only one that was getting into those positions. Saka
Mm-hmm.
had a lot of those as
Mm-hmm.
well, where
Mm-hmm.
he had Trossard open, could have
Mm-hmm.
made the pass to him, but he
Mm-hmm.
still went for the shot,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
signating it. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, you know what? Let's leave that one.
Yeah, that
Let's
side
leave that
net
one
was.
aside.
I was like, come on.
Everybody's having that day. But one of the brightest sparks we also saw in the second half was Ethan.
Of course, I was waiting. I was waiting. The guy came into that Odegaard role. That link up of that triangle link up we're talking about of Saka,
Yes.
Odegaard, and Timber or White or whoever, right? He
Yeah.
delivered. He came into that triangle of Saka, Ethan, and Timber, and he combined well with them on that side. Now let's even talk about how he was able to drive with the ball, and he took a shot that nobody else took throughout
Yeah.
that game. I mean, Saka tried one, and I think it was saved, right? But there were others that were blocked or something.
Yeah, so most of Saka's balls, like most of his shots into the box were
Mm-hmm.
blocked.
They
Like they
were
were
blocked.
actually getting deflected,
Yeah.
blocked, and all. But one of the things I
Nah.
observed about this boy is how neat and tidy he is with the ball. He's actually more neat and tidy with the ball than even a Partey.
Yeah. I think even in terms of carrying the ball, there's how maybe the center of gravity that brings this balance on the ball.
Mm,
Maybe it's part of it that makes it like less, less clunky, like on a Kai or a party with the ball. But for that link between midfield and attack that we're talking about,
yeah.
Ethan was the best link in that midfield today.
Absolutely. Because, what I now started looking at when he came in about the 84 to 85th minute, right?
84, yeah.
And I'm now looking at it that, did we actually need to have that much of a defensive approach by having Partey in that game? Because Partey was not offering us so much going forward. Now, looking at the fact that Calafiori was inverting, Calafiori basically was playing like a midfielder in this game. Calafiori and Rice were more of a defensive cover that the major defense needed. And bringing someone like Nwaneri gave us something more on the attack than Partey was going to offer us.
Yes.
So I'm like, moving forward,
he should play more minutes.
He should get more minutes.
Yes.
At least from 70 minutes, because he had more impact. He had more. Let's look at it. He actually had more impact on the game than even Sterling.
He had the ball. He was able to progress with the ball. He did his link-up play. We saw the courage to take a long range shot that was on target.
Mm-hmm.
We saw him track back defensively to block balls, to block as in like a slide tackle and stuff like that. We saw him recycle balls when we needed to keep pressure, like keep the ball in their final third. We saw him do all of that, and that is basically the link that we're talking about in terms of midfield
from
attack.
Midfield to attack. So right now, I think his performance in the last 2-3 games is calling for more minutes. That's what I'm saying.
He's calling for more minutes. He deserves it.
And defensively, I think we are still okay. We just need to keep a cool head going into the games. This week is going to give us another test entering into the Champions League, right? We're going to be facing off with PSG. But so far so good. Getting the 3 points has been a savior for us, because it looks like
we need it. We needed it.
Yes. So let's enter the player ratings. Player ratings starting from Raya. It was not a typical second half for him. The first half was more of a typical game for Raya, where he didn't have so much to do. His distribution was very good. But looking at what happened to him over the course of the second half, we will basically give him a 6, right? You consider 2 goals. Giving you a 7 cannot be justified. He didn't do anything particularly wrong, so we'll just give it at a 6. Do you agree with the 6?
Yeah. I mean, that's fair enough. He didn't do any of the wonderful, outstanding saves. And he considered, so that's
so for the fact that we won the game, it will still definitely be above average, but not in the realm of anything close to excellent. So 6 is fine. Going to the left back today, Calafiori.
What will you give him?
I will give Calafiori a 7.
Yeah, I think it's 7.
Yeah, I'll give him a 7. He did great. The only reason why I'm giving him a 7 is that he actually, had a major moment of scare that he gave us, right? Almost getting yellow card, right? He had some moments of loose passes, right? But he still offered so much into the game.
Yeah, that's so why I'll agree with a 7 is what he offered into the game, but he can still be better in terms of decision making, in terms of tackling. Like, so when they are giving their wingers and he's stepping up, right? Basically, just like the Man City goal, where if you have a quick feet person that moves the ball when you come into that tackle, you are beaten. So I think that's the decision making that he needs to improve on, because that will save him from being beaten. That will also save him from getting flimsy yellow cards.
Okay. So I was just going to say that maybe there's so much he still needs to learn, which actually is clear.
Of course.
And I would say he's in great company, in person of being with people like Saliba, people like Gabriel.
Yeah.
There's a confidence he has, which I really like, and I'm encouraged by. But there's a maturity to how he gets into the tackle. That you feel like he's overcommitting. And he meets a player of great quality.
Yeah, they'll beat you easy.
Yeah, so we'll just give him a 7. He had a good game, no doubt. I'm impressed having him in the squad. Like he's definitely making us see what Zinchenko has not offered us from an interesting point of view.
Yeah, guy forgets.
I think if we check the Arsenal website in the next 6 weeks, they will move him up to midfielders. He's not
I'm
going to be in
telling
the
you,
class of
forget
defenders.
forget our defense, man.
They
Nah,
should just move him to midfield. He
he's not
should
even
forget
entering
defense.
that place again.
Moving on to Gabriel, left centre back. What would you give him in the game?
I'll give Gabriel and Saliba 8. I mean, obviously, the goals that we conceded wasn't any of their fault.
Yeah.
And in terms of like their defensive shape and in terms of where and how they're putting tackles, Saliba kept Vardy like basically out of the game and
Frustrated Vardy.
he tracked
Frustrated
him
Vardy, yeah.
everywhere. So I guess we can't ask for anything more from both of them.
And I love the aura that Gabriel is having right now when we get into those set pieces. Like his aura alone is creating a lot of
Camera
commotion.
is even looking at him. So I feel
Yes.
like one of the next things that we would also include in our arsenal of set pieces and corners is for Gabriel to not be the distractor. So he's going to distract you, get all your bodies. In fact, I mean that was even part of what worked for
I
the
think I saw
Trossard
that
goal.
today as well. I
Yeah,
think
that worked for the Trossard goal, like the 3-2.
yeah.
Because it was free. He was totally free on the back post. So I guess I I like it. I just like it. I like how he's coming
Yeah,
into the
so
game.
I agree. I totally agree. Standard 8 for our centre backs.
Mm-hmm.
Timber, I think personally I would push for an 8 as well for
Yeah, yeah. I'll give Timber an 8 as well. Like
Yeah.
he had an assist.
Yeah.
He was overlapping. He was, if not the brightest on that right side. He was brighter. He was offering more than Saka, even though Saka had the ball more.
Yeah. He actually offered more.
Yeah.
He looked a threat when we advanced.
Yeah.
And he still found time to come into the middle of the park
Yeah.
to make some, good, incisive passes. And I like the fact that his passing, everything is neat and tidy.
I
He's a
like it.
wonderful
I like
player.
I'm good.
The thought just came to me just looking at the game. I'm like, imagine we had him last season. I think we would have been able to secure more than 2 points to have won that league. Those extra 2 points.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so he was a big miss. He feels like a new squad player right now.
He would have given us easy, Yeah, I mean, he would have saved us from losing at least 3 points.
Yeah, I'm quite sure of that. But now that we have him back, the prayer we have now is for him to stay fit throughout the season
And the
because
rest should come back. Ben
No,
White,
they will
whatever
come
is wrong
back.
with Ben White should come back. Whatever is wrong with Tomiyasu, he needs to come back.
He will come back. He will come back. Those are 2 players I'm sure will come back. In fact, I'm more sure so for White than Tomiyasu because Tomiyasu is having a problem of recurring injuries that I feel maybe we'll just
I
give
miss
him a
that
run of
guy.
games this season and let him go in the summer because we can't be giving him. We've dealt with this like 3 seasons back to back to back. Injury issue. It's not changing. Him and Tierney right now are probably, entering the same cohort of injured players. So please, let us
hospital pals.
I'm telling you, like the medical bills Arsenal will be, incurring based on these boys. Bruh. So
Saka.
let's
How would
look
you
at
rate Saka?
you've jumped to Saka.
No, the way I'm coming from that Timber. Okay, so from Timber, we'll go to front of Timber. What would you rate Saka?
I won't give him anything less than a 7, to be honest.
Why not? Why not less than a 7? Because he still gave. He doesn't have an assist. They didn't count the assist for him.
Yeah, they didn't count the assist, but all the deliveries he had today has to count for something. The only reason why I would say the 7 can be contested for a 6 is because he had too many bad decisions in the final third, right? Which is uncharacteristic of Saka. So yeah, maybe I'll drop my 7 to actually a 6, right? Because of the standards that Saka currently has as a world-class player, right? You heard me, I said it. World-class player. He's a world-class player.
He's world-class.
You cannot be entering the Ballon d'Or list 1-2 times and
he's world-class.
So he needs to get his act together in terms of the decision making. We know he has it in him, so probably would just give him a 6 for this game. What's your thought on that rank? Yeah.
On Saka?
Yeah, Saka.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sticking to a 6.
Okay, no, that's fair. That's fair.
Saka was one of our, least performing
Attackers.
players today.
Yeah, because so if you look at the first half, even the first half, a lot of our corners came from the left side because of the activity Martinelli was having.
Yeah, Declan
Because
Rice
of the
was the one taking
activity
more corners.
Califury was having. So that left side was definitely doing much more.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say Saka maybe is, getting, so much work to do right now with the absence of Odegaard. But we'll leave him with a 6 in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Now, going into the midfield, starting from the base of the midfield, I'll say Partey. I'll give Partey a 6 as well.
Yeah.
I'll give
He didn't
Partey.
do bad. He didn't do good.
Yeah, he didn't have an influence to the standard we expect someone of his stature to have on the game.
Yeah. And obviously, it is Leicester. They are not going to press you as much as, this is
if you cannot impose yourself on a Leicester, is it
Man City?
Is it a Man City? Is it even a Chelsea now that you want to impose yourself on?
Chelsea, they hard to. Chelsea,
I don't want to call their name 3 times. You don't call them 2 times. Don't leave Van. Yeah, don't leave Van. But we're living with a 6. Declan. Big Dex. I would say I can't give him less than an 8 in this game, honestly.
Are you serious?
I don't want to give him less than an 8. Though you can say there's a contention for 7, but he really didn't do anything wrong. He had so much work to do. You remember that time he had to track back all the way back? He was practically the last man at that point. That's the quality we get from someone like Declan Rice. Like, he's on that level right now that in the absence of Odegaard, he has taken some responsibility, right, in coordinating our offense from the defense. And I have to give it to him for that. His work rate is extraordinarily superb. So, moving to the attacking midfielder we had, Trossard, which I don't know. I think we saw more of Declan in the game, especially in the first half, and even in the second half, in those incisive moments where he came in and, distributed passes, coordinated the game from a creative point of view, trying to, enforce our domination on that game. Trossard didn't have more of that. Though Trossard had those moments, quick feet, taking on his man, but I will give him a 7.
Yeah, so the reason why I'll give Trossard an 8.
Yeah, because he scored.
No, apart from that, is because I'm going to rate him as a forward, not as a midfielder.
Okay.
You understand? So in my head, I'm looking at Trossard like, finishing some of the hard work that other players are doing in the team. Like him being there for when Martinelli cut back, him being, at the far post for the set piece and all. So the reason why I'll give him an 8 is because as an attack, if he was an attacker, that's what you would expect.
That's what you expect from him, yeah.
So in my head, I'm not looking at Trossard as that link between midfield and attack, which is how we set up anyway, because he was like almost playing like behind Kai, or he was supposed to play behind Kai, but
we were switching at some point.
Yeah, the movement and everything just made everything very versatile. So that's why I'll give him an 8. And come on, he scored the winning goal, So that.
Fair play. I'll bounce him up to an 8 too on my own point. But so Martinelli?
I'll give Martinelli an 8.
Yeah, without a doubt.
I'll give him an 8 as well.
I would say he was one of the most impactful players we had on the field today.
This is one of his better games, especially in the last few runs. This is
as far as output, as far as end product is concerned.
Yeah. And to be honest, there are even claims to also give him a 9 as well, because if you look at it, who offered the most
today?
In this game. Yeah, the left side was very, very hot, and it was due to Martinelli. So, I would really want to give him a 9 because he seems like our man of the match for me.
Yeah, I'll give him a 9. You know me, I'm any day, anytime I'm a Martinelli fan. So I was screaming, oh, finally, Martinelli, please. A goal and assist.
Abi,
Absolutely,
what would you give
absolutely.
Kai? Kai.
I'll give Kai an 8. I'll give Kai an 8. I won't fault him. He had chances, no doubt. The keeper made very good saves. The header was a good save. The control he had to bring the ball and strike
Yeah, that
it
goal.
back on to
He
goal.
tried. He tried.
That
He
was a
tried.
good effort. It was a good
Yeah.
save. He was in very good positions and he wasn't getting picked out for a pass. So he offered what I feel is a typical Kai
Forward.
Havertz 8/10 performance.
Yeah.
Right. So I'll give it to him. Then the goal, positioning, he was also there and he finished off what he was meant to finish. So yeah, that's about it. I think we
Sterling.
have
What would you
we
give
have
Sterling?
substitutes. Yeah, substitutes. I'll give Sterling a 5. A standard 5 in the sense that we won the game. He didn't cost us in the game, but in terms of impact, he really had little to no impact from the left, as we
Absolutely.
had already seen in the game could be possible from that left hand side. So yeah, I'll give him a standard 5. The other player
Jesus.
coming in, Jesus. I'll give Jesus a 6. Right.
Okay.
I'll give him a 6 because of his endeavor, because of the work that he put in. Right, he actually mounted a good press as well when he came on. I'm happy to see him moving that way because it looks like he's getting back to full fitness and all. And his strike on goal was on target, which gave us an opportunity to rebound it and put it in the net. So definitely that calls for a 6 in terms of the quality of what he brought on. Then I just
that's why I'm smiling.
yeah, I just want to get quickly by, Jesus and get to the point. And the point right now is Ethan. Ethan is at that point where we feel, Ateta, how far? Bring him on. Bring him on. Give him 20 minutes in the game. Give him 20 minutes in the game. That's not too much to give someone that is moving with that much confidence, that is quite neat, tidy on the ball. He's giving me, I don't know if you are getting this from his game, but he's giving me a combination of Odegaard and Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe drives a lot better with the ball than even an Odegaard.
True.
Right? Then, in terms of close control with the ball,
Odegaard.
He's giving me Odegaard.
Yeah.
Then that finishing that he's capable of outside the box, he's giving me a Smith Rowe. But he's bringing it with an aura that is just unique to him, which is, I am 17. I don't care what you think about it. I'm just
That
going to
guy
show you
plays
what
with
I'm
so much
capable of.
confidence.
His confidence is
Oh nah. This new Helen boys are very confident with the ball.
yeah. I have to
Like they
give it
are
to him for
very,
that.
very confident. They're very, very confident. So what would you rate him though?
In this game, I can't give him a 6. I'll give him more than a 6 because he brought in a different threat entirely.
A
That
different level
actually,
of urgency. Yeah.
yeah, he changed the last 10 minutes of the game for us. He brought in a different threat that pushed them well into the 6-yard area. That's
Very true.
Leicester into their 6-yard area with
Yeah.
caution because of what he was bringing in. So I'll give him a 7, which is because I'm considering that he is a young talent that is supposed to be acting under so much pressure, but he's still withstanding that pressure,
I
responding
agree.
with confidence. I'll give him a 7. I'll give him a 7.
I agree. I agree with a 7 because he linked up well on the right side. He made our right. He basically made our right side come alive.
Yeah.
And he, as you said, he was able to drive the ball. He was able to collect the ball from the midfield, drive the ball into the attack, play combination passes, took a shot, tracked back defensively, confident positioning, recycling possession, and everything. I was very impressed with him considering the time that he also had and the impact that he brought in that time. So for me, I'll give him a 7 as
His
well.
first strike of the ball was that long range shot that the keeper
Yes,
saved.
he
And
got
I'm
the
like,
ball,
whoa.
moved, boom, and I was like, yeah,
No,
the
I'm
new
impressed.
star boy.
To cap it all off, I'll say, let's give Ateta a rating. Home game, decision making. Personally, I'll give him a 7.
Yeah, I'll give him a 7 as
I'll
well.
give him a 7.
He needs to put fire behind their ass as well.
Yeah, like
And
I felt the team talk that probably happened in the dressing room was
To
not as
relax.
intense as it's meant to be, looking at the fact that they entered into the second half maybe a little bit overconfident that they were able to, pull off a couple of more goals, which didn't happen. His decision making in terms of, pulling out players that needed to come off in good time, I felt he didn't manage the situation with Calafiori properly. We had a major scare because he was already on a card. I felt he could have managed that by bringing in Kivio. Kivio actually had a very good game against Bolton and could have had a shout to come in for the last maybe 10 to 15 minutes. I don't know why he didn't do that, but well, he's the coach. He has that decision to make. But all in all, we didn't lose the game. We had 3 points in the bag. 7 is still a fair score, but typically we know we give Ateta nothing less than a 9. But for this one,
Yeah, I'll give him a 7.
Yeah.
Give him a 7.
All right.
All
My
right,
man.
G. Nice
I
one,
got
man.
some good feedback for some people that watch our conversations about the games. They're like,
Okay.
oh, it's very interesting to watch how we actually take on the game from segment to segment, and they actually stay to the end of the video.
Okay.
And they were saying it's not just to kind of like pump us off, say, oh, I'm just supporting, but actually we can get much more audience because of the way we actually approach the game.
Absolutely. This
From a very
is what we
cooperative
do. And this is just us having conversations that we've been having for years.
typically have, right?
Yeah.
Right. So please, I invite everyone watching, put in your comments. If you have, an opposition to some of the ratings we just made, please put that in the comment section.
Absolutely.
Like, subscribe, support. If you're a Gunners fan, you should be here listening to what we have to say.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Ninja boy, you're definitely meant to be here having these conversations with us as well. So thank you so much.
Nice
Have
one,
a great
man.
rest of your day. Our week has been salvaged by the boys. We can go on and finish
3
up
points
the
in the
story.
bag,
Yeah. All right, G.